Uh-oh. We run out of coffee already?
No, we're good. I'll pick on my head.
All right. So, I can't do morning coffee without coffee. Very low on coffee already this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Ooh, my name tag's crooked. Welcome to Thursday. We had a super awesome event last night. We had our Girls and Guns event last night, and great group of ladies come out, getting to experience their first shots. A lot of them. If you have any, excuse me, any ladies in your life that are interested in trying the firearms thing, that's a great event to experience the world with super low pressure and just lots of fun. We do it once a month, first Wednesday of the month. Andrew, good morning. And it's $75. You spend about an hour in a classroom. You do have to listen to Elizabeth teach for an hour or so. But you spend an hour in a classroom, and then you go downstairs, you get free ammo, free gun rental. You just get to shoot and have some fun. We have instructors and RSOs in the bays helping you out, making sure everybody stays safe. And then after you get done shooting, you get to come upstairs, and we just have a social hour of wine and cheese and cupcakes and giveaways, and just you get to meet other new lady shooters in the area. Most of which, it's always cool when I'm in a class, I'll typically ask this, is who's never been in our store before, and it's a very large percentage of the people that are in the classroom are walking in for the very first time. So it's a really cool event. We do it once a month. Get a group together, come out, have some fun. We see several groups of ladies several times a year. They might come out 2 or 3 times a year to different events, just as a ladies' night out. They'll go out for dinner, and they'll come here, or they'll come here and do their thing, then they'll go out for dinner afterwards. Make an evening of it and have a good time doing it. So this morning we're going to walk around, show inventory, as I don't want to say usual, but fairly usual. I'm going to go through it a little bit on the quick side today, because I'm going to spend some time and talk about compensators. Do you need them? No. Are they kind of cool? Yeah. I bought one yesterday for my Shadow Systems MR920L, and we're going to go through the installation process. It's very, very, very simple. Shadow makes it very easy to get everything lined up and all that. Johnny, good morning, sir. I've not seen you on here in a while. Shadow makes it very easy to install, and I think they did a really cool thing. It's so they have their DR920P, which is a non-threaded barrel comped pistol, and I was always kind of leery of thread-on comps because I don't like set screws and digging them into the threads on my barrel, because those barrels aren't necessarily inexpensive. They did a pretty cool thing with the design of their comp and how it stays attached and all that jazz. So we'll talk about all that good stuff as well, and just show how easy it is, and some things to definitely avoid when you go to put the comp on, because truthfully I was a little confused when I first opened the box yesterday and went to install it. It's like, why is this here? There's thread locker in the box, and I wasn't looking to put Loctite on my barrel threads, but it's not for that. So And I'll talk more about that in a few. So let's look at the shotgun wall real quick. Not much different than yesterday. Still have a 1301. We did sell the A300, the new A300 that we had on the wall. Sold that sometime over the weekend, I guess. But I do have a lever action 410, and then I've got some pump action and other semi-auto Mossberg and Remingtons. Mossberg 870, I'm sorry, Remington 870, Mossberg 930, 500s and 590s, DP12 and KSG. Another 870 tack up there. Now, for the long guns, lots and lots of options up here. I've got all sorts of options in 5.56, but then I also have several options in 7.62 by 39 and 308. So depending on what your flavor is, I showed this guy yesterday, but I gotta show it again. This Daniel, even though somebody was a evil person that left the dust cover open. But I just dig the factory rattle can paint job on this. It's pretty slick. But we got lots of options from Daniel in 5.56 and 308. And we've got lots of others from Smith, FN, Rock River, SIG, Desert Tech. I've got two Desert Tech MDRX rifles in 300 black, and then two in 5.56. Springfield Hellion, heathens, and a couple of Saints, and then some CMMG Banshees and Descents, 7.62 by 39, 5.56, and 9 mil up there. So lots of options on the long gun wall. Then I've got down here, if I can get my camera to switch, several AKs, Zastava and Sentry, couple of high point carbines in 9 mil and 45. This new Smith FPC 9 and a Keltec Sub 2K. And then I've got lots of MCXs over here in 300 black and all sorts of different sizes. So if you're looking for an MCX, I also have some in 7.62 by 39 and 5.56. So all sorts of options up there. All right, into the pistol case. So there's my comp. We'll talk about this guy in a minute. But Shadow Systems, nice to see this case filled back up again. We've got lots of options in here. We've got DR920s, DR920P, so that's the integrally comped gun. We also have the CR920P, which is an integrally comped subcompact pistol. Got to shoot one of those the other day because one of our, I don't want to get him in trouble, but one of our guys bought one. I've got DR920Ls, MR920s, XR920s, regular DR920s in both elites and combat cuts. And I have a couple of Foundation Series guns as well. So lots of options in here from Shadow. And we'll talk more about there. We also have some extra barrels in here, threaded and non-threaded. And then we have a couple of comps, and we were actually getting some more of those coming because we sold through them pretty fast. Springfield, I've got Hellcats, XDMs, and Prodigies. Smith, we've got all sorts of options in here. Shields, Shield Plus, EZ, EZ380s, Equalizers, CSX, M&P 9s. Let's see, what else? Their new comp, M&P 9 comp, and SD9s. SIG, again, tons of options in here. 229s, 226s, to include some optics cut legacy guns. Then I've got lots of 320 options, M17s, X-Carry Legion, X-Compacts, 365s. I've got TAC Ops, X macros, comped and non-comped X's. Lots and lots of options. David, good morning, sir. Beretta, I've got some 92X and X Performance PX4 Storms. Then I've got the new Tomcat. HK BP9, a couple of different flavors of those. Oh, down here on the bottom, I've got 3 different Masadas as well from IWI. FN, I've got 509 T's, C's, and mids, FNX 45s, Canic TP9s, and Mate variants. I've got SFXs, Elites, SFTs, Rivals, lots and lots of options from Canic. Glock, let's see, for MOS guns, I've got 47, 43X, 45, and 19, and 34. So I've actually got a good selection of some MOS guns, and you can put that SCS Holosun optic. I don't know if you can see it real well there, but that SCS is designed for MOS. You do not have to use the super awesome MOS plates. But we got lots of Glock options in here, 17s, 19s, 41s, 20s, SF20s, so on. Walther, PDP, Compacts, PDP-F, PDP Pros, Q4 and Q5, PPQ and 45, Gearson MC9, SAR9, Bursa, Thunders, and BP9s. A couple more Walthers back there in the back to include a PPK. High Point C9, Mossberg MC2, Carr CM9, and a couple of Sky and Savage pistols. Ruger, I've got 5.7s, Max, Security 9s, EC9s, LCP Max, Taurus G3s and 4s, Sky pistols, and RX 0, and Delta LM and X. So all sorts of cool options in the pistol case. Take a quick look at the used case. It's really got some nice handguns in it. Got a 1911 from TSOS, Glock 19 and 17, 320 X5 Legion, PPS, M&P 9, 229. I mean, we got some nice stuff. Combat Elite from Canic, 509C, 43X, Ruger EC9, LCP, Car 9, and an XDM Elite. So, always worth looking in the used case. You can find some great deals in here. And truthfully, a lot of times these guns are hardly used. A lot of people buy guns and don't really use their guns. So, but that's okay, because then you get good deals on a used gun that's not really used. All right, so what I'm going to do right now is, I got Charles back there, right there. And I'm going to turn the camera over to Charles so that we can try to do this and not have it look backwards to you. So I make no promises on his handiwork with the camera. So we're just laying that out there right now. If the phone falls on the ground or it's looking at the sky, or whatever, I make no promises. So we're just going to turn this around.
Okay.
All right. Good to go?
Good to go.
All right. So, first up, my gun is unloaded, just so the internet can feel safe beyond your screen. So we're going to install the what's this thing called, Charles? Compensator.
Compensator.
Thread-on compensator for shadow systems. Truthfully, the hardest part of trying to install this thing is opening this freaking box. The thing is, it's just a cardboard box, but it is
Phil is challenged.
It's a struggle to open it up. So we got the comp just sitting in there. Set that guy out. We'll talk about that in a minute. Under here, we have some destructions, okay, or instructions. I call them destructions. Loctite, not for your barrel threads. I was very confused when I saw there was Loctite in there, and a little Allen key, just in case you don't have enough of these things laying around your house. So first thing we're going to do after we make sure that there's no ammo in the gun, okay, I need to take the gun apart. So in order for me to take this gun apart, I have to remove the thread protector on my, sorry, I don't have to do that to take it apart, but I'm going to just because I need to take it off anyway. So I take the thread protector off. If you have a thread protector on there, you really should have an O-ring. That O-ring's got to come off as well. So we're just going to pull that dude off. Now, I'm going to verify again, point in a safe direction, pull the trigger, take my gun apart. Ooh, man, I'm about to drop that. So I don't have to take, well, you don't want to take the barrel all the way out. This just threads right on. So I'm just going to push the barrel forward a little bit, thread this thing on there, all the way down until it stops. Let me clarify something real quick. Before you put this on, I did install this yesterday, so I know that these things aren't tight. There are 2 set screws in here, one on either side here. Okay, you want to make sure those things are loose. You don't want them to be tightened down already, and you're trying to thread this thing onto your barrel. One of the cool things that I was talking about is that if you can see in here, there's this little section of threads. Okay, that little section of threads gets pushed on by these set screws. So the set screws don't actually dig into the threads on your barrel. They push on the back of this little section of threads, so that whole section clamps down on your barrel threads. So definitely not going to mar up the threads on your expensive barrel. So just going to thread this thing on there, potentially. Going to go all the way down until it stops. Okay, now it's not lined up. Okay, so all you got to do is just back it off. One little, whatever it takes to get it lined up. You might have to, on yours, depending on how your threads are cut, go 1 full revolution. On mine, I don't have to. So this is all the way tight. I can do this little quarter turn, and everything's lined up. You can see that there's a little bit of wiggle room here, okay, and that's okay. We want there to be some space, all right? Now, all I'm going to do is tighten down these 2 set screws while trying to keep it lined up, okay? So I'm just going to hold on to the comp and just snug these. I'm not going to tighten them down yet. I'm just going to look at my comp to make sure it stays put. Snug these down a little bit more. Maybe. There we go. And just make sure it's lined up. Then you do torque these. This Loctite you would actually use on the threads of those set screws if you want to. You don't have to. If you torque them down properly, supposedly, I haven't tried it much with mine yet, but supposedly if you use the proper torque, which is 20 to 30 inch-pounds, you do not need Loctite. So I'm not putting Loctite on here. I'm just going to torque these things down. I'm going to torque them down to 25 inch-pounds each. We'll do them a little bit at a time. Next week, oh wait, I lied. Not next week, because I'm not going to be here much next week. But that just feels super tight. Sometime here soon, we'll do a little comparison between shooting the standard MR920 and the integrally comped DR920P, and this one with the comp. One of the really cool things about Shadow Systems is that their guns are not high recoil guns anyway. So adding a comp to it benefits you, but they can get away with not making their comp super aggressive. If you've ever used a comp pistol, they can be very picky on ammo. The benefit of these, if you don't understand the benefit of a comp, is it directs some of the gas pressure up, which helps push the muzzle down, giving you a flatter shooting pistol. You can make this port bigger, expelling more gas, giving more compensation, but it can start making the guns run kind of picky. Shadow says you don't have to replace your spring. I'm going to try not to. I only shot 50 rounds through it yesterday. I had no problems with it. They say you don't have to. Maybe if you don't have the best grip or you're using kind of funky ammo, you might have to replace your recoil spring to make it work. Hopefully I don't have to do that. I don't think I'll have to do that. But because it's already so flat shooting, they don't have to be super aggressive on the comp, and keeping the reliability up. We'll see how that goes. Super easy installation. You want to make sure you can see how it just looks good on there. If you wanted to, I don't have a card on me, but you could you want to make sure there's a little bit of space so that it doesn't interfere with the slide. This thing sits on there perfectly. So it's $100. It's a performance enhancement. Why not do it? So take that back. So for any of your, thanks Charles.
You're welcome.
For any of your needs for the Shadow systems or questions, just ask. Okay, come in, check those things out. If you don't have a threaded barrel on your gun already, you can put one on. I don't know what the barrels run, 200, 250. Let's see if I can see one. Compensator's $100. And let's see, barrels are between 200 and 215. So it's probably 215 for the threaded, 200 for the non-threaded. I will warn you that here, let me just show you on my holster, if I can do this one-handed. I have a Glock 17 holster for my pistol. So the compensator sticks out of there. Not a big deal if I'm just carrying the gun. If I'm shooting the gun and reholstering and shooting the gun and reholstering, that could become a problem because that compensator is going to get hot. The live feed is far more. Oh, great. Good job. Alan, good morning. Workman, you can go away. So I would highly suggest that you have a holster that if you're carrying it inside the waistband, you have a holster that covers the compensator because you don't want to get burned where that muzzle is. I don't want to get burned there. Maybe you do. I don't know. So, again, super easy to install. Helps your gun shoot flatter. It doesn't make you a better shooter. Okay? It does help the gun shoot flatter, which means you can get back on target sooner. If you're doing everything else right, it makes you faster. If you're not shooting the gun well to begin with, it just probably is going to make you miss again sooner, or it could potentially cause problems because compensators have a propensity for making malfunctions happen more often because they're robbing a little bit of the pressure away from the action of the slide. So, but again, their comp is not super aggressive, and the reason I think, personally, I'm not an engineer. I certainly don't work for Shadow, but I really think their guns shoot very flat to begin with. I don't know if it's just because it fits in my hand well. I don't really know how or why. I'm sure there's some engineering mathematical formulation as to why that is with weight and so forth, but they shoot really flat anyway, so they don't need a super aggressive compensator to gain benefit. So it's kind of cool, and it keeps the reliability up. So come check those out. If you've already got a Shadow Systems, those are only for Shadow Systems pistols. I'm sure somebody will like cut the ears off of it or something and make it work for another gun, but that's not. They're made for Shadow Systems. If you have a Shadow Systems pistol with a threaded barrel, it's $100, and it's really cool. And you can put it on, take it off pretty easily. So that's all I've got for today. If you guys need something, you know where to find us, 14803 Manchester Road. We're open 9 to 8, Monday through Friday, Saturday 10 to 6, Sunday 10 to 6. Keep in mind, starting Sunday, we will have very limited lanes, okay? We're cleaning our backstops all next week. So we will have potentially times when we don't have open lanes. We'll have times when we have one open bay, maybe times when we have two open bays. I don't know. We don't know exactly how it's all going to go. It just depends. So please be patient with us next week. We did, Charles put up a post, I think yesterday, blaming you. It's your fault because you're the ones that make our backstops dirty, which is true. I thought that was kind of comical. So just understand that if you come in next week that typically during the week, during the day, we don't have a wait time. We probably will next week. And it might look a little chaotic in here. People walking around in spacesuits and stuff trying to clean up our base. So it'll all be good. It'll be nice and fresh after everything's done. So you guys have a great day. Stay safe. Be nice to one another. And we'll catch you soon. Later.